Welcome to episode 3. My name is Yaosompa and I will be your learning partner for this episode. In today's episode, we're looking at bagging the business idea. Don't forget, in episode 1, we talked about how to come up with an authentic business idea. And I'm sure you remember Kane. In episode 2, we talked about how to test that idea. And I'm sure you remember Nepal. In today's edition, we will go through how to give that business idea force, how to translate it from just an idea to a great product or a great business. Today, we shall talk about 3 things. The very first one is that understand that a business goes through a life cycle. And so just like any other thing that is born, grows and dies, an idea should be managed in that stages. And so understand a business as that which must be born, must grow, and eventually, depends on how you manage the growth, can die. We're still dealing with the idea generation, which is the birth of an idea. So talk about today as the day of delivery. After I've conceived the idea, after I've incubated it, how do I push it out? As a third episode, it's like the birthing place, the place of delivery. But before we go into that, let's get to the street. Let's ask people's opinion on what they'll do with a great idea. Stay tuned.
I would try and find an opportunity to be able to pitch that idea. Because in so doing, when you get people to believe in it, you will get support. Maybe some startup capital or something to start it.
And if no one believes in it in the initial stages, what would you do?
If I believe in that solution and no one believes in it, I would definitely find a way to make it a reality. I would have to push it on my own. Maybe if I have a little savings, I could talk to my friends. Those I think can help me in that line.
You know, many people think that business is a difficult thing to do. No, it is not. You don't need to go to Harvard School of Business or Lagos School of Business to become a businessman. One way to identify a viable business idea is to look at a problem. Just identify a problem that you can solve. That is a business you got. So, like in our world today, we just said about Uber. You see, so identifying a viable business idea is simply seeing a problem in a community, or maybe a small community. Just see a problem that you can solve. Let's say children go to school without shoes, so that's a business idea. You can come up with maybe small shoes that they can buy from you and wear to school. So to identify business idea simply means to identify a problem you can solve.
Okay, a business idea would be good if your interest is in it and you love to do it. Yes.
So if you love to do something and you have interest in it, what would you do? How would you move it from that idea to a business? What would you do with such a great idea?
Okay, so if you have such an idea, you have to gather some capital, or you have to seek advice, seek aid or advice from other people and see how you start with that business.
Today, we're asking ourselves, if I have a great idea, what do I do with it? There are 3 things we'll talk about. How to translate an idea into a great business or a product. The very first thing you need to understand is that document the philosophy of that idea. Usually, an idea is just bits and pieces of things you think would work. But things work with passion and commitment, and usually to a value system. Because an idea solves a need, document that philosophy, which becomes the pillars of building a culture around the product or a culture around the business. And so document the value system on which that product will exist or that business will exist. Some call it the values. And so document a value system on which you deliver products and deliver that business service to your customers. That is the first thing you must do with that idea in the birth or in the delivery stage. Determine what quality, what nature of service you will provide. Now the second thing is the vision. Now the vision of every business is as important as the product itself, because the vision gives 2 things. First, it gives a future. It gives you a view of a future with your business in it. And the second is an analytics of the present. And so look at the context you have now, the circumstances you have now, and then project into the future, how the future would look like with your business in it. We all may have been familiar with things like SWOT, which says that your strength, your weaknesses, your opportunities or your threats, and then the PISTO, the political, the environmental, the sociological, the technological, and the legal frameworks in which the business will thrive. In crafting a vision, look at all these contexts and say that how does the future look like and how does the future look with my business? But look to that with the present in mind. Now the third thing we'll say today is the mission of your business. Now the mission, like a missionary who goes to the ends of the world to push a message, is the same thing. And so understand that a mission of a business is that which you deliver the vision. So it's like the vehicle for which you put the vision in. And so it's the product, it's the technology, it's the quality of service with which you deliver that vision. It's the hard work, it's the commitment. And so as we back the idea, understand that the philosophy of your business, which will give birth to your values, understand the vision, which is what the future looks like with your business in it. And then the third thing is the mission, the commitment day to day to deliver that vision to your customers. Overall, know that that business is nothing until you've given it force and you've given it an identity separate from you. And so incorporate that business. And so to incorporate that idea, here is a checklist. Understand the first thing needed in the checklist is the business name. Choose a business name that is not misleading and a business name that is not already used by somebody. The second thing you must know is the nature of business. The nature of business must not be illegal. The third thing is that the directors, the secretary, the shareholders, all other related persons to the business must have TIN numbers. The identity must be known, and all these people must be registrable.
In conclusion, the final thing that is needed on our checklist is the minimum capital requirement, or our paid-up capital. Paid-up capital is the amount of money a company has received from the shareholders in exchange for the shares or the stock. You see, when a company is created, the shareholders are required to put up a minimum cash in the running of the organization, which is known as their capital. And so, in registering the company, that paid-up capital would need to be shown for. Different nature of businesses would require different minimum capital. And so pay attention to how much capital will be needed based on the nature of business you have. Also bear in mind that a foreign element in the company may require a different paid-up capital that is different from a wholly owned local company. For the detail, check the GIPC website for all the information you need.
To conclude, remember that the taste of success is far more worth than the pain of pursuing that business idea. And so remember that every day of the year, you will keep that vision in mind. You would remind yourself of the philosophy of your business, and you will keep in mind the mission for which you pursue. Stay tuned as we bring you a next episode where we look at the culture, building the culture for that new idea. My name is Yasumpa. I have been your learning partner. Stay blessed.